Hi Flosstube! Welcome to my channel. My name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. This is an off-the-cuff, no notes, winging it kind of video. It is actually Friday, but I'm going to schedule this to come out on Saturday, September 5th. It's been a busy week. I was afraid I wasn't going to get a chance to film this, and to be honest, I didn't stitch a lot this week, but I do have some stuff to show you, so I wanted to come on and say hello and tell you about my week in stitching. So I am a little behind in my comments, and I'm going to work on that tonight, but I'm going to save any questions that were from last video till next week because I haven't had time to check the comments. As I mentioned before, I am in education, and this was the week that my own children started school and the teachers where I work started work again. Our students come next week virtually, but it was a really busy week. So I'm going to show you one little tiny finish, couple whips, and then what I thought I would do, since I don't have as much stitching, is I'm going to show you my samplers, some that I've started and some I just have kitted, because it is Sampler September. I don't know how much stitching I'll get done in September. I don't like to say I'm going to stitch on any one particular thing the whole month, but I definitely want to make some progress on samplers. So I thought I would show you what I have and maybe ask you what you think I should stitch this month for Sampler September. So I'm going to start with a little finish that is also a whip because I'm doing this one twice. So from the Blackbird Designs book In Friendship Way, I did this little pincushion here. It is called Honeycomb Basket, and it is in like a Hobby Lobby Easter basket type thing that I could not find and didn't want to finish it that way anyway. So I stitched it, and I'll insert a picture here of what it looked like when I finished stitching it. And then I tried to make a pincushion out of it, and I'll insert a picture of that here because it was kind of lumpy. And I was like debating redoing it and trying to stuff it better, but I think the issue was that I didn't cut it large enough. You cut a circle, and there's a template in the book for how big you need to cut it, and then you sew around it to gather that up, but I just felt like I didn't have enough material to work with. So I probably should have like cut a piece of like scrap fabric out and tested it out. I just went ahead and did it and followed the directions, and I'm just wasn't really happy with how it looked. Plus, I didn't want to use the basket, but I couldn't find anything else this was so small. It was like 3 inches. The design is like 3 inches wide. So maybe when I finished the pincushion, it was like maybe 3.5 to 4 inches in diameter. And I couldn't find anything at my house. I walked through Hobby Lobby. I checked my mom's house, which you know is a craft mecca, right? Couldn't find anything. So what I ended up doing is buying a little frame and framing it in here. So I took the glass out, cut a piece of mat board that was 3 inches, and just stuck it on the mat board, stuck it in the frame, calling it done. But I did want to stitch this once for myself and once for a friend, so I'm going to give that one away. And I did just the outline in the green for the one for myself, and I bought this frame while I was buying the other one, which is it's like a gray color. It's like a suede in it. And so I'll put mine in this frame and send this one away. Actually, I think it's going to go sideways like that. So I thought it was a really cute little pattern. I would have liked to have done it in a pincushion, but I'm pretty happy with it. I like the colors I chose. I did not use the called for colors. And I think I posted this picture on Instagram, but didn't include the colors I used. But I just grabbed anything that looked good. I needed 2 blues, 2 pinks, a green, an orangey, and a yellow. So those are my colors. Oh, and I also had to steal from, these are the colors for the strawberries in that book, and I had to steal one of them for the beige that goes in there. So I used the Gentle Arts Lamb's Wool. That's that beige color. For the green, I used Classic Colorworks 4-leaf clover. So that is the green that's all around there. And then I'll also by Classic Colorworks, the orange that's in the middle of the little motifs, I guess, is Pumpkin Harvest. I use Classic Colorworks Queen Bee for the yellow. Rain Shower for Classic Colorworks Rain Shower for one of the blues, and the other blue is Gentle Arts Tropical Ocean. And then the lighter pink is Tennessee Red Clay by Classic Colorworks, and the darker pink is Gentle Arts Holly Berry. So just in case you were wondering what colors I used for that, and I'm going to use the same ones on the one I do for myself. And that probably took me a good like 3 nights of stitching, but I didn't have as much time to stitch as I normally do. So this weekend, if I end up working on this, I could probably finish up mine and get that one framed. But at least I had one little finish to show for my week. Something else I worked on was my Summer Schoolhouse Lesson 1 from Brenda Gervais. I finished the blue of my house. I'm stitching this 1/1 on 25 count mushroom Lugana. So I was super excited. I love that blue color. I'm so glad I changed it to blue. Let me show you the picture. I mean, I know I've shown this before, but the house is supposed to be beige, but it didn't really show up that color very well on my fabric. And I love a blue house, so I'm really happy about that. The door is going to be red, so I'll put that in next. And there's like some spots here where there are like leaves and a bird's tail that comes in, so that's why it looks like there's a chunk out of my house in 2 places. But and you don't fill in the windows, which I'm okay with, although it had occurred to me I could go back and fill them in with like a yellow so the lights are on, but maybe no one's home, so the lights aren't on. So we'll see. My third WIP is Land That I Love by Teresa Kogut. Pardon my working copy printout. It's a terrible picture. And even when you have the actual book here in front of you, the picture just does not do it justice. I don't know if you watch the Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube, but they have one of their I guess employees, Cheryl, I think is her name. She's stitching this, and it is completely amazingly beautiful. It's so, so pretty. So I was happy to get back to this for a little bit. I just worked on it last night and a little bit today during the boys' virtual learning. And I'm trying to get the top border done, so I inserted like all those red flowers and the yellow centers of the flowers and started on some of the blue leaves. I'm hoping to finish up the rest of this top border and the alphabet maybe this weekend, because what I really want to get to is the first 3 big motifs here, where you have the flowers here, the eagle, and then the flower basket with that flag is so pretty in actual real life. So I want to get to that, but I have to finish my alphabet first. I have to eat my vegetables first, right? So I think I will probably work some more on this over the weekend. I'm stitching this on 36 count My Little Dove by XJU Designs. This is awesome fabric. If you haven't used XJU Designs fabric, it's really, really nice. I buy mine, she has her own site, but I've been buying mine off of Kitten Stitcher's website. So you can check that out if you're interested. She has like beautiful colors. So I thought what I would do for the rest of this video is, I have some haul to show you at the end, but I wanted to show you my samplers and see if I can decide what I want to work on this month for Sampler September. So in the comments, if you want to vote on 1 or 2 that you think I should work on this month, that might help me decide. I did not iron all these, so some of them might be a little wrinkly, and some of them I haven't started yet. And they are in no particular order. So the first one is Harriet Elizabeth Coe. And this one I have started. I am stitching this on a 36 count Silk Weaver. Don't know what color it is. Mystery. And I have made a pretty good amount of progress. I have the very outside of the border done, but not all the flowers. And I have the letters, as I'm sure you know if you've seen other people who have stitched this, is they're done in eyelet stitches. And then these are also supposed to be eyelet stitches, and that was a little too much eyelet. So those I did in Smyrna crosses. And I have this floral section. I really like the colors in here. I don't know that these are colors I would have put together on my own, but I like them. And I did not use the called for. Instead, what I did was I looked at my stash and tried to mimic the colors that are in the piece. So that is one that I probably, if I worked on this for a couple weeks, could probably finish. I don't know if I should work on something that I'm more likely to finish or just put a dent in a bigger project that's not going to get done in September. So let me know what you think. That's Harriet Elizabeth Coe. Next sampler I have is from Hands Across the Sea. It's one of their little gem PDF downloads that they have done during the pandemic. It's called Sarah Spencer, and I am using all the called for DMC colors, stitching it again on 36 count. It is another silk weaver, and it is another mystery. I actually probably have the color name in my journal that I left downstairs and did not bring up here. So if you're dying to know, ask in the comments and I'll see if I can look it up. I just did part of the side border there. So this is not quite this much of a rectangle, but it probably goes like to here. It is almost a square, but not quite. And the only thing about this that has me hesitating a little bit is the yellow birds. I might change those and not make them yellow. I like the yellow in the flowers around the border and in the baskets, but I'm not really a fan of the yellow birds. I feel like the birds should be blue. I don't know, or even red. So I might change them. I do really like the called for colors though. They're DMC, they're super bright and cheerful and just really nice. So that is Sarah Spencer. And that's a pretty small one. Let me just pull out, I mean, as samplers go, as Hands Across the Sea samplers go, because they're pretty big usually. It is 197 by 173, so not huge. That's stitches. Not a huge sampler, so. But I worked on that like one day and that was it, so haven't gotten back to it. Okay, this one I have not started yet. And I don't even know if I have it fully kitted. I mean, I definitely have fabric I could use. I don't know that I have all the threads, but I definitely have some to start with. This is Sampler Hope. Pardon my horrific printout. This was pre-new printer. So the lines across the page are terrible. But this is by Stitches Through the Years. It is a PDF download. This is a quote by Emily Dickinson. And really nice purpley, mauve-y colors in this one. And it looks like I have, it looks like I have everything except for 3 colors, and I could probably just grab the DMC if I needed to. These are all Fancy Floss colors, and like I said, I do have fabric, so Sampler Hope is a possible new start. Stitches Through the Years also, when I purchased Sampler Hope, I purchased this one, which is Like a Cherry Blossom. X-Stitch MD, Shiloh, is stitching this, and I feel like a couple other people are stitching it too. Again, sorry for the horrible photocopy. I have 36 count light mocha ready to go for this. I wanted something that didn't have a lot of modeling just based on what the picture looked like. And again, I have some Fancy Floss here. Let's see. It looks like I marked off that I am missing 2 of the colors that they use Anchor for, but again, I could grab the DMC if I need to. So I have all the Fancy Floss I need for it, so I could start Like a Cherry Blossom if I so choose. Okay, this is a big one, and I mean, I've shown this before in my whip parades, of course, but this is A Savior's Praise by Shakespeare's Peddler. It's beautiful, it's gigantic, and I'm using the called for colors, which are, I'm using DMC. The called for are actually Anchor, but I'm using the DMC called for colors. Plus there are a couple of Weeks Dye Works colors in there. And I'm doing this on 36 count flax, which is again not a hand-dyed linen. It has no modeling in it, but I like it a lot. I like stitching on it. It's a little rough. I find that my thread does tend to shred a little bit going through this fabric. The trouble that I had with this and why I think I put it away is that I was using the called for colors, but swapping them out in the alphabet because the called for wasn't showing up. And these show up better, but I don't know that I like them. And if you look at the picture, that does not look like my fabric, right? So the called for fabric is 40 count beach brew, but flax linen is listed as making a good substitute, and that's what I got. But I don't know, I kind of like that it's more of a whitish color in the picture, which could totally be the picture, and her real sampler might look like mine. But I don't know, I'm torn as to, because this is an enormous piece, I'm torn as to my colors. I've seen other people doing it on a variety of different fabrics. I mean, I've done a lot, but compared to the rest of the piece, I haven't done that much. I could restart it on a different piece of fabric. I don't know. But that's why I'm stalled on Savior's Praise, because you don't want to go forward if you're really going to restart it, right? You want to kind of figure that all out. I have this in a project bag by Mom, of course, with a matching bag for all the threads because there's so many threads. So, thanks, Mom. This sampler, and you know, is it a sampler? I think it's a sampler. I'm not sure what the definition is of a sampler, but I'm calling this one a sampler. I don't think I have a picture, so I'm going to try and remember to insert one here. It's called Green on Green by Rosewood Manor. I am using 36 count Salt Marsh Green, which is just a Zweigart color. And I am using a Thread Gatherer's Silken Colors Dried Roses. I love the way this looks. The variegation of the thread is so beautiful. This is like just a slow moving piece though. I mean, it's huge. And so you do a letter or two and you're like, all right, well, I'm still gonna need to work on this for the next 6 years. So I really need to sit down and commit to doing this for a few days to get some visible progress on it. So that is Green on Green, which I am not doing Green on Green, by Rosewood Manor. My next project is Christmas Garden by Blackbird Designs. And Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Celeste from Celeste Creates are both stitching this now. So I'm kind of motivated. You know how it is when you see someone stitching it. You're kind of motivated to pull out yours. I worked on this a couple weeks ago and got a few motifs done and really love it. This is being stitched on 36 count. Picture this plus, let's say it's on probably Heartland or Legacy. It's not Wren. And I have this much done. I love the little deer. It's only 4 colors, and I really like that, actually. I like the colors I chose. I picked Victorian Motto colors, Burnished Gold, Dark Chocolate, Scarlet, Carnation, and Glory of Ireland. So you don't really have to vote for this one because I feel like I'm probably going to stitch on this in September. So save your vote for something else because I'm pretty sure Christmas Garden is going to get stitched on. We are going up to Connecticut this weekend to visit my in-laws, and this is going in the bring pile. Okay, I only have 2 more actually. I was a little disappointed. Maybe I need to buy more samplers. This is A Weary World by Shakespeare's Peddler, and I showed a couple weeks ago, I bought the thread pack from Anita's Stitches, Anita's Little Stitches. She has a lot of thread. If you're looking for thread, go check her out. And I have an XJU Designs fabric. The one that I'm using for Lynn that I love, My Little Dove, that gray color, I coffee tea dyed it. And I love this, and I think that these colors that are the called for colors are going to look really nice on there. So it's a Christmas piece. I'd love to start this, but I also already have Christmas Garden. Do I start another one before I finish Christmas Garden? Sure, why not? Start all the things. Last sampler. I've had this, I have to start this. I've had this for a long time. I love it. I don't know why I haven't started it. It's Sally Spencer. So many people stitched this last year. It was a stitch along. It's in a fantastic cactus bag. Cactus. And flowers. Made by you-know-who. And I have a Picture This Plus Heartland in 36 count, Paduanon, with the called for threads, except for the red is supposed to be Buckeye Scarlet. I did not, is it Buckeye Scarlet? I think it is. Let me check before I tell you that. Buckeye Scarlet is supposed to be the red. And I decided I didn't really want it to be red. I wanted it to be more of a coral pink color. So I went with Victorian Motto New Coral Reef. So those are my colors. I think they're beautiful. Why haven't I started this? I don't know. Should I just start all the ones that I haven't started yet? Should that be what I do for Sampler September? Take all the ones I haven't started, which is only like, what, 4, 5, and just start them all? I don't know. We'll see. So those are my samplers. If you have an opinion about which one or ones I should stitch this month, put it in the comments. Let me know, because I can't promise I will take your advice. I kind of just stitch what I want, but I'm curious to see what you think, and which one you think I should spend my time on for Sampler September. All right, a little bit of haul and stitchy kindness to show. First of all, I mentioned Celeste from Celeste Creates. She sent me a very nice card and a beautiful little tomato pincushion that she made. It's so cute. I commented when she showed them on Instagram about how much I love the idea of using a star for the leaves on the top of the tomato and the top of it. And she said, send me your address and I'll mail you a tomato. I mean, who does that? That's so nice. So I'm kind of collecting tomatoes, and when I have my sewing room, I'm going to have like a whole little spot for them. So I have my one that I bought from Under the Woolen Willow. I have this one. I'm making a collection. So if you know of any good tomatoes I should buy, put that down in the comments too. So thank you so much, Celeste, for sending me that. You really didn't need to. I think stitchy people are just so generous and so nice, and I love, as we all do, right, getting something in the mail that's not bills. So it was really nice to get something fun like that. Okay, I also, my mom was watching Jan Hicks Creates, and she mentioned Victoria Clayton, who is dyeing fabrics, and looks like she's in Pennsylvania from my receipt here. And she's selling half-yard pieces of hand-dyed fabrics at an incredible price. Go check her out. I will link her site below. And I know she had Ada. I don't know what she still has, because Jan Hicks put her on her site, on her Flosstube video. There's probably been a run on all her fabrics, but I'm sure she will make more. I bought 2 half-yard pieces. This one is called Jackalope, and it's the lighter of the 2. And then I got Raw Natural. They're very similar, but the Raw Natural is darker. This is a really nice fabric. It is soft. One might say floppy, so I know some of you don't like floppy fabrics, but I stitch in hand. I like it when it it feels nice in your hands, and this does. It is, I bought 36 count, and like I said, the prices were super reasonable, and I like to have occasionally like a larger piece than a fat quarter, because once in a while I have something that I want to stitch that's bigger, or I have multiple pieces, you know, like I'm making a set of ornaments and I want them all on the same fabric. So it's nice to have a bigger piece. I bought 2 skeins of Gloriana silk in, I think it's pomegranate. Yeah, no, poinsettia. And this is for the Plum Street Samplers Mystery Sampler 12 Days of Christmas that I showed a couple weeks ago. So that is all ready. I put on Instagram this silk with a couple fabric choices, and everyone was giving me their opinions on fabric, which I do agree with. Almost everybody said number 2 and number 4, which was Wren and the Jackalope that I just got from Victoria Clayton. So I think it is kind of between those 2 colors for that piece. I also got a Marjorie Massey pattern, free pattern from Kitten Stitcher. That's where I ordered the fabric from. And I purchased American Coast. Sorry, it's a kitten. It's still in the plastic. American Coast by Chessie and Me, because I did the whale watch and loved it so much that I decided to do this. And it has the fabric, the Gloriana silks, and a needle and everything that you need to do that. So that's just going to go in a tiny little project bag. It's a great little travel piece, or just something fun to do and hopefully have done for next summer to go next to the whale watch. I bought some Lady Dot Creates chenille trim. This is in Rusted Nail. And I also bought some pom-poms in Bear, which is a brown, and in Jack, which is orange for Halloween. And I have some black licorice poms coming too. I always do this. I order something and I'm like 3 days later, or even 1 day later, I'm like, oh, I forgot to order this too. And I could have made it all just one order. No, so now I have a second order coming. That's okay. I got my Picture This Plus Fabric of the Month Club from Crazy Annie's Stitchers. This is 36 count Picture This Plus Sterling. It's a nice blue-gray color. I really like this color. I got last month's and I really love that one too. I'm just not familiar with some of these other colors, and I'm in the neutral club, but I'm glad that the neutral has like grays and blues and not just beiges in it. It's kind of nice. All right, I'm just looking around at my mess here. I think that is all my haul, and that is all that I have this week. So I managed to make, let's see, 28 minutes I'm at, so that's a decent sized video for you. I'm gonna schedule this to come out on Saturday, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at last week's video comments and get caught up on those. And I hope that you are all having a great Labor Day weekend. Please be safe and wear your mask and stay outdoors if you're gathering together, because we don't want anybody getting sick. And I will see you next week. Happy stitching. Bye-bye.